Hey guys, welcome back to Overtakes. This is Misfit.
And I'm Cal.
And we are here with our Stage 2, Week 4 Power Rankings.
Let's just dive right into it.
Yeah, let's get into this. We're going to...
We'll give you each of our top 5 and then kind of go down from there.
Yeah, because the top 5 is... we're pretty close. I mean, we're going to talk about a bunch of teams. We're going to do it in groups of 5. We figured that's the best way. It doesn't mean that these teams are grouped in groups of 5, skill-wise or talent-wise, because there are drop-offs, and...
Yeah, there's distinct drop-offs at certain points.
Like one of you guys said in the comments, you know, there's like another tier, because we were saying there's 3. There is that tier. There is that 4 to 8 tier where they can beat any team below them, but they can't beat the teams above them.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's hit it. So,
right. Who's in your top 5?
My top 5, I have Vancouver, San Francisco, New York, the Gladiators, and the London Spitfire.
So I'm a little bit different. From my number 1, I have Vancouver. I have San Francisco. We're the same there. At 3, I actually have the Gladiators because they are undefeated this stage, whereas the New York Excelsior dropped a game to the Atlanta Reign last week. So I dropped them down a spot because they slept on it. Well, and you sleep, you're gonna drop a spot. Yeah, because the Gladiators just look far more determined than New York does right at this point. And then at 5, I have Seoul Dynasty.
Okay, that's fair.
So let's talk some New York.
Yeah, let's talk.
We kind of got a little bit into there, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, they tend to they did this every stage last year.
Yeah,
they take a nap at one game. They have a double. I mean, last year all the games were double.
Yeah.
But this week, they had a double game week. They did not prepare for Atlanta.
They did not.
And Atlanta was ready for them.
Yeah, they were.
And I'm not saying anything against how Atlanta played. Atlanta played fucking fantastic.
Yeah, that was probably the best game, honestly, that Atlanta's played this year.
Yeah.
Even better than when they had DeFran and
yeah, they looked together.
From top to bottom, this was phenomenal. Team play, everything. And New York just had no answer for it.
Yeah, and they looked terrible. Mono looked bad.
Yep.
Jonak looked average. And it was like they were just going through they were playing and then it was like they weren't thinking. I don't know. They went way aggressive too. They never do that.
They were way too aggressive. And
I think they were maybe trying to try out high aggression.
Yeah, and it doesn't work for them.
No, it doesn't.
It really doesn't. They need to be basically passive aggressive. Like they need to exactly. just wait for the other team to make mistakes is what they do best.
Or bait them into mistakes.
Or bait them into mistakes. Like that is 100% what this team needs to do, and it's very clear that when they do anything else, they just can't do it.
And I understand the reasoning behind why they're trying to do that, because they know in order to beat San Francisco and Vancouver, you have to be aggressive.
For sure. And honestly, Atlanta was super aggressive against them.
Yeah.
And that's how you beat that team. It's how Seoul did it. It's how you beat them. You just force them to not play their game.
Yeah, exactly.
You can stomp them.
And no fear.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta just
go in with no fear.
Yeah. You're just like, whatever, I see you, Jonak, boom, and punch him in the face type of thing. Like,
yeah, exactly. You can't be, I gotta watch out for Jonak. No, go after him.
Yeah.
Because things happen. You get rid of him, it gets rid of a lot of their game plan.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think they're trying to work on some of that.
Yeah.
And a couple of things, too, I've noticed in this station. I don't know about you, but I noticed Nene hasn't been great.
Yeah, he's
been good. He's just not been like...
He's not been as dominant as he was to start the season.
I think people are onto that how good he is. I think he's getting focused a lot.
Yeah. He's getting focused a little more, and he's not really adjusting his game.
Yeah.
Whereas you see a team like San Francisco, and teams try to focus Sinatra.
Right.
And that doesn't work out. Because when they try to do that, they put themselves in poor position, and the rest of the team pounces on him, and Sinatra is just like, ha, you're coming after me? Fuck you.
Yeah.
Like,
you're going to get... I'm at 100% charge, and I got crazy-ass Reinhardt next to me here that's going to just fucking hammer smash you.
Yeah.
Super. Anyway, the thing is I think there's a narrative that people have figured out. They don't change their game plan. So if you focus Jonak, that's where all of their resources go.
Yeah.
And I think it's Jonak and Mono. And if you get rid of the Zarya, which is Nene, you're going to be in better shape.
Yeah.
Because they're one of those teams.
Because then that's less resources that are being dedicated to those two.
Yeah.
And it's it really is kind of the linchpin of what they try to do.
Yeah.
Especially when they're playing goats.
Yeah, exactly. And it's different than last year too, when they used to pull fights out of their ass.
Yeah.
When they'd get a guy or two down, someone would go off.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have that here, and they back out.
Yeah.
And when you're playing,
you really can't do that in the goats meta
as much. I mean,
not nearly as much.
It depends on who dies, of course. Right. But
only time it really works is when Meko can get like a ridiculous diva bomb.
Yeah.
And that's really about it. Like, that's their best chance to stay in a fight. Because usually, if they lose somebody, that's kind of what you see. You see Meko be like, all right, well, I got to use my ult to try and get some picks so we can stay in this match.
Right.
Stay in this fight.
And especially if they lose Jonak or something like that. They don't continue with the fight as good.
Yeah, they really don't.
Because
not only do they lose Jonak, they lose his ult. And then there's also times where Jonak he has his ult forced out, and it happened again this week.
Yeah, a couple times.
So yeah, I mean that's really the biggest key is forcing Jonak to use his ult when he doesn't want to.
Yeah, and a lot of people they're starting to figure out make him uncomfortable.
Yes.
Come after him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, is he going to get picks? Yes.
Absolutely is.
But there are going to be a few times when he drops trance when he shouldn't. Mm-hmm. You pick him off when he's out of position, which doesn't happen very often.
But it
makes them reset.
Yeah.
Because that's their main focus of their attack or their playstyle is Jonak.
Even if he's playing Ana.
Yeah.
Whether he's playing Ana, whether he's playing Zen, like it doesn't matter. Like he is the cog that makes that machine work.
I would be more afraid to go near him as Ana because you're going to get a sleep dart in the face.
Oh, for sure. You don't even have to be near him to get a sleep dart in the face from him. Oh, Jesus Christ.
You look at him, you look at him sideways. I mean,
if you show yourself without a shield, he's going to probably sleep you.
Yep. And he doesn't have to be looking at you either.
He really doesn't. You could be like on one side of like behind him.
And he's just
flip around, sleep dart you. Yeah.
Okay, I have to go back to healing now for a minute. Then I'm going to go back to murdering people.
Yeah.
But we wanted to talk about New York. I mean, we do talk in New York a little bit, but we're not as analytical with New York sometimes. It's more of okay, it's New York. They're doing what they do. They blah, blah, blah. They're the Indianapolis fucking NYXL and all that. But there are reasons why people are kind of catching up with them a little bit. I think, they took a nap this week, but Atlanta did their homework too.
Yes, exactly.
And they knew how to beat them. And New York gets tilted when their plan doesn't go the way it should go. Mm-hmm. They get fucking knocked off their game. Big time.
And it's interesting because Philly tried to do that in their game. They tried to do what they did to them in the playoffs last year. Yeah. And it didn't work at all.
No, it didn't.
New York knew exactly what they were going to try to do to disrupt it. And that's the biggest key is like, you have to approach it in a different way each time, but it's still basically the same way, but like... You have to
use your skill to take care of their business, like their normal game plan.
It's interesting because, Philly tried
sometimes
to do
it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yes, Philly really tried to do that, and New York was ready for it this time. Yeah. And that's really the interesting dynamic is like you see basically the Jekyll and Hyde that is this team at times of like, oh, you're going to try to do that? Well, we're ready for that. But, oh no, oh my God, what are you doing? Why did you do that?
Oh my God, they killed Jonak!
Yeah, exactly.
What do we do now? We don't have CBOE to bail us out!
Yeah.
Everyone back out, reset.
Yep, exactly.
Or rotate around for an hour. Anyway.
Yeah, so let's move on to our 6 through 10.
Yeah.
Who do you got there?
I have Seoul at 6, Philadelphia at 7, Dallas at 8, Shanghai at 9, and I moved the Spark up to 10.
That's fair. So I have at 6, I got London. At 7, I have Philly. At 8, I have Chengdu. I don't know why I said Chengdu. At 9, I have Shanghai. Maybe that's why. And then at 10, I have Dallas. So a little bit of differences here.
Bit. A lot of these teams, like, we're into that range where the teams are going to
honestly,
that second level we're calling it.
Yeah, like they're like any one of these teams could beat each other, but they're gonna struggle to beat any of the top 5 teams.
Yeah. So
minus like maybe like we have London and Seoul flipped basically.
Yeah.
Like those 2 teams are kind of that barrier team where like each one of them could beat each other.
Yeah, you can even throw like down to 8 in that. And there's going to be teams peeking their heads up and dropping down in that range too. But, I mean, there's teams that are solidly in that area. And some of them, we have no idea what the hell's going on with them, as per usual every year.
But we do want to talk a team that really hasn't been getting a whole lot of discussion because of the stigma that they have from last year, and that's Shanghai. And
positive discussion.
Yeah.
You know, last week...
We talked about it a little bit. Like, they've really started to come together and they look like a completely different team. Obviously from last year. But even from just a month ago, like this team is really starting to come together and gel. And they look really good, and they're starting to look scary. I mean, granted, they played 2 garbage teams last week.
They did, but you know what? They did what they were supposed to do, which they hadn't done earlier in the season.
Yes,
they beat the shit teams.
Yep, and they went in, they took care of business the way that they needed to.
Yeah,
and honestly, like they're just getting better as the weeks go on. And I really think they could surprise one of those. Yeah, and one of those upper tier teams, not the top tier, but I think they could make a run for it.
They're getting better with Gamsu, and we all knew he was a great tank.
Yes,
and they're playing once the more the weeks go on, and it's nice for them, for any team to have a week like this where you can go in there and all right, we should beat these guys' brains in.
Yeah,
both teams, and. You know, they went out and they played their game.
Mm-hmm. They did.
They're another team that plays their game. They can play goats okay. Mm-hmm. They can do different things better, though. So they do different things. Yes, it was against Miami, and this is a constant disclaimer. It's like one of those fucking drug ads.
Right.
This may induce vomiting, diarrhea, and both games did. Anyway. But what I'm saying is, it's like, so you have, they realize that they have Ding, Diem, and also Dia, who we saw against Miami or Florida.
We finally
God, what is my name? Dia. Flame now? I don't even know how to fucking call the teams. And Dia was playing Ash for crying out loud.
Some of the first Ash play we've gotten to see.
Yeah, the only Ash play. He got no picks though. Or I think he got a couple eliminations. It was on Anubis. Right. It was on that insane Anubis match.
Oh yeah, that was pretty insane. That was super fun.
And see, here's the thing: the resiliency that they showed in that.
Yes.
They got full held. Mm-hmm. And they just came back and were like, you know what? You're not getting anything either. Fuck you.
Exactly.
Which, in weeks and years past, they would have
rolled over.
They would have rolled over, and it would have been like, because Houston just had to get a tick.
Yeah.
And they were just like, nope.
Yeah, you're not doing it. You're not getting on this point.
And I don't care who it is, you still can get a tick.
Yeah.
Even Houston.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And the fact that they held them off as well as they did, that's a really big turning point for this team.
Yeah. I think the one thing that's been a little shaky for me has been their flex tank.
Yeah.
It's not the best.
Between their Diva and their Zarya play, it's not the best.
Yeah.
I think this team is much more suited to playing a 2-2-2.
Yeah. Or a heavy DPS comp.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're who was I thinking? Guardian, yeah. Guardian and Guardian. They're like, and it's mostly the Diva that's been okay, not great.
Exactly.
Because their supports are good. DM does a decent enough job on. I mean, these guys aren't Zarya gods because we're using DPS because you got to flex out.
Right.
That when you're playing goats, but when they run some kind of DPS comp, they look better.
Yep.
Than they do when they run goats, and if they can get that flex tank down to a reasonable level of play.
To where they can properly support Gamsu, then this team is going to be very dangerous.
Yeah, because I think Coma and Luffy are really good. Luffy.
I think they're
Coma gets picked a lot, but
they're a really underrated support line.
Yeah. They fly under the radar for sure.
They do.
But I just worry about the one thing, if they could get it solidified, like better. Mm-hmm. Maybe they're flipping them in and out a little too much. I don't know.
Yeah. I do think that they do flex they flex their off tanks and their DPS a little too much.
Yeah.
I think that's one of their big issues. And if they can take care of that.
Yeah. If they're running DPS comps, I'm okay with that, with the DPS line. Yeah,
for sure. But if you're running, if you're going to have to run 3-3, you want to keep those same people in there as much as possible.
There's too much communication involved.
Exactly.
If you got somebody running Genji and McCree or Tracer, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, there's communication, but it's less necessary to be as team focused. The shot calling and all of the stuff has to be coordinated. Mm-hmm. You're going to Tracer. All right, I just pulse bombed, got a 3 kill.
Yeah,
out.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Or I'm going to dive the back line, or whatever you got to do with that.
Yeah. So this team,
move on.
They look a lot better. Let's move on to our 11 through 15.
All right, who do you got?
I have Paris Eternal at 11, Boston Uprising at 12, 13 I have Atlanta Reign, 14 I have the Hangzhou Spark.
Okay, I have.
All right, and 15 then I have Toronto Defiant.
Okay, 11 I have Atlanta. 12, I have the Boston Uprising. 13, I have Chengdu. And 14, I have Paris. I mean, briefly, let's talk about a couple of big differences we had here.
Well, 15, you have Toronto.
Oh, 15, I have Toronto as well, unfortunately.
Same.
I had Chengdu really low, and you had them higher.
Yeah.
It was a bad week.
Yeah, it wasn't a great week for them, but I still believe in them, and I think they're
going to be fluctuating in that.
Yeah, their fluctuations are going to be more extreme, but then also the map differential I think makes a big difference for them because they're not a team that just rolls over and takes a 4-0 loss. They're always trying to take a map. Yeah. I think they've realized the importance of taking as many maps as they can, and that's something that some of these other teams
just don't. Even if you're mediocre.
Yeah.
Because all you need is a 2-game winning streak, and you're in the playoffs because you have a +1.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of trying to get in with a -2.
Because you're at a +1 instead of trying to overcome a -6.
Yeah. Where you have to 4-0 everything.
Exactly.
And it's impossible. All right, I'll give you that. And the rest of it were kind of the same. So let's talk about Boston and their week.
Their implosion of a week.
That was as bad as I think I've ever seen them this week. Yeah. That was not good.
Yeah, this is probably the worst we've ever seen Boston play.
Well, and there wasn't the disclaimer though. This week there wasn't one close match.
No.
Well, there was one.
They had a rough week as far as schedule. In that they had to they played
London.
They played London.
And
they played London and Vancouver. So
I didn't even watch the Vancouver match because why bother?
Yeah, especially after they got stomped by London. I'm like, well, that just means...
Yeah, I mean, even though we did say, watch the Vancouver-Boston match, I was like, after seeing them get absolutely massacred by London, I was like, oh, this is not going to go good at all.
And it's weird. Like, I don't want to say that they got completely stomped, because they held their own at times.
Right.
But it just isn't enough. They just don't have the talent and coordination to overcome a team like Vancouver, who just are overwhelmingly good at
what they do. Yeah. And I was hoping for a better showing against London.
Yeah.
Because for a little bit, I was kind of like, all right, this is for them to put themselves into that Gladiators, London, Seoul, Dallas area.
That 4 through 8.
And solidify their place in there. Like, they're always going to be in some kind of contention.
Kind of floating around in there. And they did the exact opposite. Like, they got turned around at every single instance.
Yeah.
And I think teams are kind of starting to catch on to their Sombra goats thing that they're trying to run.
It works. It
works in some ways, but not having Note, I think, is actually really starting to come back and bite them now because you're not having and this is nothing against RCK, but he is not Note.
No, he's not, and they had to change their whole playstyle. And they look good when it was like, oh, they didn't miss a beat.
Right.
I still think it's going to be beneficial for them, but for both teams in the long run. But
for both teams, it didn't work this week at all.
No, it did not. And you're going to see that, too, because there's communication gaps and things that you're not used to with these, new players in. But there were just times in that London match where I was like, okay, what happened to the team that I watched last week?
Yeah.
The Vancouver match, I thought they would show up. We said they were going to lose. I thought maybe they'd get a map or do something.
Yeah, at least give them a scare here and there.
Something viable.
Right.
But against London, there were just points where they weren't using their ults right, and in this meta, you have to.
Yeah, it is so vital.
Yeah, that's the only way you lose a fight is if you fuck up an ult.
They just look discombobulated this week, and I don't know exactly what happened.
Yeah, and they're another team that's weird on that eco push at the beginning.
Yeah.
The teams that are up in the top get that, and they get the ult economy in their favor, and then they just take over.
Yeah. And whereas they've never really been great with that, but they're better with the late time eco pushes than they are with the initial
when
ones.
they actually have to.
Yeah.
They are good at that. It's just on the onset, you have to be so precise to begin a map, or even like on a control. Whatever part of the control is, you have to take it. Initially,
right, and
you may get one flip.
Right, they're starting really weak, and then that's just snowballing into staying weak. Whereas they used to be able to overcome that. And I wonder if it's other teams are kind of picking up on how they were doing that and overcoming the disadvantage that they had with their ults.
I think that's some of it.
Yeah.
I think people are onto the Sombra goats.
Yeah.
Especially when they have RCK, so you're going, all right, we know what's coming.
Yeah, it's going to come at some point.
Yeah. And it's they usually they start off
on some. You
don't
immediately see a diva, he's playing something.
And then you play some of these teams. They have good Anas, which most of the teams in the league do.
Yeah. Most of the guys that can
especially the teams that they're playing.
Yeah, most of the teams that can play Zen have a very good Ana as well.
Yeah. Well, exactly. And once the Ana comes out, and you have to build EMP for every fight.
Yep.
If you're not doing that with Sombra in this meta, you're not accomplishing enough.
Yeah, you're really not.
And there were a couple times where he would be going into a big part of a fight. He would have 60% and you're still. He's eventually gets it, but sometimes it's too late.
It's too late, and it's just by that time you probably should have switched back to Diva.
Yeah, and
you'd have been better off.
I think they have a lot to work on. They need to work on playing 3-3 and playing other comps that don't involve Sombra.
Yeah, agreed.
And Fusions has got a lot of work. Fusions is really good. They're playing decently the weeks past, but right now I'm not convinced.
Yeah, same. They took a big step back for me.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to our bottom 5, 16 through 20. Who do you got?
Gladiators are slowly climbing out of the dumpster. I'm just going to throw that out there. The Gladiators. The Valiant. Yeah. The other LA team.
The Gladiators.
Sorry, Gladiator fans.
Gladiators climbed out of the dumpster a while ago.
Yeah. They look better. I got them at 16. They look better. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah.
They look like sort of Valiant-ish. 17, I have the Charge. 18, I have Washington. 19, I have Houston. And 20, I have GC Busan. And then 21, I have Florida.
Yeah, right. All right, so for me, at 16, I have Guangzhou Charge. 17, I have the Valiant. 18, I have the Mayhem, because I think that they're... honestly, these last three are so interchangeable. At 19, I have the Washington Justice, and at dead last, I have the Houston Outlaws. So let's talk about Houston.
Andy up!
Andy up, guys.
Hashtag stay hard, or whatever the hell that was.
Hashtag stay hard.
What was that at the beginning of the year? Stay hard? Yeah, they had to get rid of that one.
Yeah.
That started their year off bad.
Yeah.
They should hit the reset button.
Right.
Whoa, guys, get rid of that. All right, let's talk about...
They probably should with their roster.
Yeah. This is where we want to go with Houston. We're not going to... We like to meme about Houston, but, there's some things on this team that need to be addressed.
Yes.
And some of it is... One of the main things is looking in the fucking mirror.
Yeah.
It's, Flame is... He's got his boys back. That's great. But the thing is you have to look at it. You can't keep going out and saying, I watched, was it Oversight when he was on there, and it was that big free-for-all, and it was fantastic. Fucking Monty was just owning everybody. Monty was just being evil genius, and Thorin was just, his right-hand evil genius.
Right.
Avast just sat there and tried to defend Flame, and it didn't work. But anyway, there were points where he's like, we know Muma's a better tank than Bumper.
Is he, though?
No, he's not.
Absolutely not.
He's a really good fucking tank.
It's nothing against him, but he is not Bumper. Bumper is the tank in the league.
Right now, yes. Him, Fissure.
Yeah, honestly, you can't even throw Fissure, because he's not even playing right now. Gesture and... Mono. That's you can throw Super in there, too.
Super. Well, yeah.
Super.
Oh, my God. I always forget
We always forget Super.
And he would fucking tell you, why the fuck are you forgetting me, you fucking trash bag?
Exactly. No, Super's right up there, too. But, he's not even in that. He's not even top 10 right now. Right, but the thing is he's the guy that needs to be on that team. He should say he's a leader. Yes. And I think some of it is he's trying to do too much. Yes.
And
they are forcing him to do too much, and he's just not getting enough from the rest of his teammates.
Yeah, and like we've been saying, and you guys know this, you're watching this. Your roster, and if you notice most of the teams, they're not switching in unless they're doing DPS specifically, but they're really not anymore. They're kind of getting, all right, we're switching out our Zarya because we think we're going to be playing better, like Lundy did with Birdring.
Yeah.
You know what? We're just going to put Birdring in there because if we have to switch, we're not going to have a telegraph what we're doing.
Yeah.
And teams that are, and not counting Chengdu and Shanghai and Guangzhou that like to move guys in and out, that have their own problems with that. They need to keep a set lineup.
Yeah.
After they get rid of their fucking supports.
Yeah. They need new supports, hands down.
Which we've been saying since the end of last year. But Jake needs to be in there too. Yeah. Because he's a fucking leader.
He's a leader.
And he's the best shot they have running 3-3 on Brigitte because he's the smartest player they have.
He's the most cerebral player that they have. And he will see what the other team is doing and how to counter that properly. And it's because he is your player coach.
Yeah. And it's not like he can't flex out.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, he's not Linkser, but at the same time, why is Linkser playing Brigitte?
Yeah.
Why
isn't he playing
Zarya? Why isn't Spree playing Zarya? Why is
Arhan in there?
And
these are how the Outlaws turn.
Right.
It's
so frustrating. It's I get you guys it's this whole, we've been playing together since blah, 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 family, whatever. But you know what? This is a business. It's about winning. And if you're not winning, what are you even doing here?
Guys, as a fan of a garbage team, I remember a team that was together for a couple of years that went to the Overwatch League last year and made fun walkouts, and they were all buds. Where did they finish last year?
Yeah, exactly.
Family is one thing. The Gladiators are a family, but you know what? They got rid of the weak points of their family. Yeah. And they kicked their crazy uncle out, all right?
Yeah, exactly. And they filled it in with the best possible team that they could. And they put out an incredible team, and look at what they're doing now.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is Dallas, everyone talks about Envy. There's really nobody left from Envy on that team.
Yeah.
It's just a continuation of the brand.
Exactly.
And Houston needs to look in the mirror.
Right.
You have the All-Star break. Mm-hmm. Look, I know your fans are going to lose their fucking mind if you get rid of one of their anime characters. Or players, I'm sorry.
Right.
For me, personally, I think they need to keep Muma and Cool Matt, who's actually been playing pretty well.
Muma, Cool Matt, and Jake, and Linkser are the guys you should be consistently...
Yeah, and Dante. Keep Dante.
Keep Dante. But everybody else, they got to go, and you got to replace them with something else.
Yeah. Because your supports are average on a good day. Raucous was good at one point. The only person that has faith in him, other than Flame, is Bare Hands. Because he doesn't like Sleepy. But that's a whole nother issue. But what I'm saying is this team, it's kind of time, guys.
Yeah.
It's time to look in the mirror and decide whether you want to make cool fucking anime pictures and post them all over the internet, or if you want to win fucking games.
Yeah.
And I liked them last year. Even though they drove me nuts when I tried to pick them, damn San Francisco beat their streak.
Yeah.
So it's not like they were trash last year. You know what?
Right.
It's almost time. It's time. I've said it 16 times here.
Yeah. It's
you gotta find what's best for you.
Cut your losses and
it's hard
try
to do
something
that.
new.
It's hard to do that.
you are at a point where your season is almost completely lost at this point.
Yeah.
You have to make drastic changes if you want to make any kind of splash and improve yourself for the future, because obviously what you're doing is not going to get any better as time goes on either. No. That's the other thing, is like you need to make what is the best decisions for your organization going forward. Yeah. Because you know what the worst teams do, and being a fan of the Cleveland fucking Browns, I know this. You got to cut your losses on the guys that aren't contributing what you need them to do.
Yeah, because right now, in order to get into the play-in for the playoffs, you're 3-7, and you're minus 12 map.
Yeah.
The team that's holding that linchpin spot is Atlanta, who's one game under 500 with the only positive map differential until you get to Seoul at 8.
Yeah.
So not only do you have to, you're going to have to do something.
But it's something that it's doable, but with what you have right now, it's not.
Yeah.
You have to make drastic changes.
And honestly, that's maybe not even for this year.
Yeah.
It's for the future.
Yes. You got to make the best decision for the future of your organization.
Yeah. Or have a family.
As that. Yeah.
Or have a family, which is fine. It's great. People love it.
But if you're going to continue to do that, then prepare to be perpetually terrible.
Yeah.
Because that is what you're going to do. You can either have fun, be a family, or you can win games.
It rarely works when you do that.
Yeah.
And there will be a point, maybe not this year, or next year, but teams like New York and Vancouver will drop off.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Seoul, and
look at how,
they got rid of guys that you didn't think they were going to get rid of.
Yeah. If you'd have told people that that Rouge Hong was not going to be the same player that he was in Apex, if you had told people that
Toby was going to be on the bench and so was Miro.
Yeah.
Or Miro's gone.
Or that Miro is going to be gone completely.
And Zumba's on the bench.
And be one of the worst tanks in the league last year.
Yeah, and Zumba's going to be on the bench.
Yeah.
They would laugh in your fucking face.
Exactly.
This team? Come on, man.
Right.
Yeah.
But look, that's what time does.
You have to be, sometimes you have to be cutthroat and just focused on winning.
Yeah.
You can't get too involved. And the reason why Vancouver is staying the way they are is because they're fucking winning.
Yeah.
The minute it drops off, I guarantee you there's going to be discussions about other players. Mm-hmm. And it will drop off at some point.
Yeah.
London, they got rid of some players.
Yep.
You know, it's not a bad thing. And yes, you got rid of some players last year.
That is part of being.
But they got rid of fact fiction and guys that didn't play.
It's part of being a professional organization. Like sometimes you just have to cut your losses and move on.
Yeah, you have to.
Simple as that.
Exactly.
All right, that's enough of our rant on Houston.
But it was. I know we were ranting, but it's the truth.
It is. It's
guys,
the harsh truth.
If you're a fan, you guys have to come to the harsh reality that something needs to be done,
and you need to start telling them that.
Yeah,
and that's the other problem that I see is the fans are they're not holding them as accountable as they should be. Like
some of them are.
We could be doing better we could be doing this if this person did this and blah 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 blah. It's just like needs to be more than that.
Yeah, I know some of them are.
Yes, but
the
not
majority.
Enough of them
the majority of them are.
Just like,
they're doing the college football thing.
Oh, we still got a chance. Do you?
They're doing the college football thing. When someone comes out like Monty and says something, your team is a trash bag. Mm-hmm. They're like, no, it's not.
No.
Look in the fucking mirror.
Yeah.
That would be like me when someone says Miami's bad. Or, God, I did it again. Florida's bad. Mm-hmm. And looking in the mirror going, oh, no, there's promise.
Yeah.
There's promise of 19th.
Yeah.
Maybe 18th if Houston continues on their downward spiral.
Exactly.
And they also have to look at the fact that Valiant are getting better, the Justice are getting better, Guangzhou and Hangzhou are kind of moving up, leveling out. Mm-hmm. There's nowhere to go but down.
Yeah. All these other teams are making improvements to their rosters and getting better week by week and trying to improve themselves. Yeah. And you're just standing pat. Yeah. And that it doesn't work.
They brought, like I said earlier, they brought some guys in, like Arhan, and they got rid of some guys, but the guys they got rid of were, you didn't
even play last year.
It was like the guys Philadelphia got rid of.
Right. Like,
they got rid of Joe Meister and one of their backup supports and, whatever else. So All right, guys, that is going to be. We don't really need to talk about anything else in the bottom.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about my team until they, do more than win a control map at the beginning of the game. And did they? I don't think they did that. They win Hanamura occasionally. Anyway. Oh, and all right, one last point. See, the reason why we picked them to talk about and stuff, we didn't get into this. They picked up 2 points. There are 5 points in 2 games.
Yeah.
That's bad. Guys, that's bad. I mean...
Not maps. Points.
As bad as Guangzhou was when they went on their fucking 24-map losing streak, they won a couple of points here and there.
Yeah.
Not much more, but... See, but... I don't know. All right. I was going to say Guangzhou, they're almost in the same boat right now.
Yeah.
But Guangzhou...
is at least trying to do something else.
They're playing their game.
Yeah.
Not the textbook of how to do this game.
Yeah.
I'm not getting into the whole, just keep ramming your head against the wall.
Yeah.
It is a big giant cow skull, so you're not going to get damaged until, it breaks.
Right.
Keep those pictures coming in. And, guys, that's going to do it for the power rankings. And,
keep an eye out for our preview show that we're going to be putting out after this. We're talking about a few different things. Some things not to do with the league, but some really exciting announcements and things that are coming to the game itself.
Yeah.
We know some of you guys don't really like that, but hey, it's part of the game. We play it too.
Yeah. And it's fun to talk about because it does eventually have relevance into the league. I know some people don't see that.
Yeah.
But it does.
And then, check us out on Twitter. We do all of our updates there. And that's where you're going to get the most up-to-date information on what we're doing, especially as far as our Sunday night back cap, because it's not going to be live on Sunday night this week, just because of scheduling issues. So we'll let you know what's going on with that. Don't forget to give us a like, a subscribe on YouTube if you're watching there, a review, and any kind of rating system on whatever podcast catching device thing you use. And that's about it for this week, guys.
Yeah. So you guys have a good rest of your day, and we'll talk to you later.
Catch you guys on the next one. Later.